Coming to you from the great Canadian winter. It's not that cold, only about -20. But I want to talk to you today about other ways to feel good, apart from using sugar.
For most of us, sugar represents something else than nutrition. And in my experience, we use sugar for comfort, when we need some type of reward, to bring back childhood memories, for stress relief or reassurance or celebration, and that's all perfectly normal. What we also use sugar for is to feel better, or at least to feel less bad. And when we are craving sugar, we don't want to make any type of effort. We just want to be able to reach out and answer our emotional needs, even if we're not aware of them. And because sugar is so tied up to our emotions and very often creates this kind of emotional eating cycle, it can be really, really hard to let go of. It was definitely like that for me. And because I've been living for all these years happily sugar-free, I thought I'd give you 3 tips to replace sugar. Tip number 1 is to really become aware that you have some kind of emotional attachment or relationship with sugar. I was in denial about this for the longest time, but if you really think about it, is sugar causing you some kind of emotional roller coaster as well as a blood sugar roller coaster? Are you using it to meet your emotional needs? Becoming aware of this is the basis for any other change in your relationship with sugar. My tip number 2 to replace sugar is to find other ways, preferably not food-related ways, to feel good. Ways that stimulate your dopamine without any kind of negative consequences. Either a sport or an activity that you enjoy, something that makes you feel happy without giving you that sugar high, so that you get used to feeling good without having to look for a high from sugar or food. For me, it means getting outside and moving and getting my endorphins that way. Tip number 3 to replace sugar is to replace sweeter foods with less sweet foods. Because when you first cut down on sugar, you might need some not so bad sweet subs to replace sugar. And I give lots of ideas for this in the After Sugar Club membership. But for example, how about replacing starchy sides with more veggies? Or choosing more real foods for breakfast instead of boxed foods? Choosing more whole fruit instead of liquidized fruit? Or instead of fruit flavors? And more healthy treats, not even food related, to replace sugary treats. And if you do want to treat yourself with food, make nourishing yourself a treat. Because at the end of the day, self-love is what it's really about. You can start off with one small change at a time, like cocoa powder instead of chocolate, or a piece of whole fruit instead of added sugars.
So I hope these tips have been useful for you. Let me know in the comments below if they have been, and see you again soon.